guys, Gilly Hunt here with the letter K in my A to Z guide to Stampin' Up products. And the letter K is for kits, which I'm hoping will be fairly self-explanatory, because the whole idea of kits is that you buy them, you use them, you create things and you have a wonderful time. And you don't have to think about anything else because everything's done for you, except the really lovely bit, which is the crafting. So here's K for kits, and I'm just going to talk you through the four different types of kits we have, three of which are really kits, and the fourth is just my idea of where a kit comes into. So let's start. So the first thing we're going to look at is the four different types of kits, and I'm not going to talk you through them all straight away, but I'll keep referring back to this and I'll give you plenty of time to pause it and look. So first of all, we're going to look at the all-inclusive kits. Now these are the kits in the catalogue where it says clearly alongside them all-inclusive kits. And what you get with an all-inclusive kit is everything. Absolutely everything you need, except maybe a pair of scissors and some glue. And you can use your own glue and your own scissors, but I would highly recommend you buy yourself a lovely pair of sharp snips, which are less than £10 each. Mine's got nasty something gooey on the end. Let me just take that off. There we go. They come with a lovely cover and they're sharp as nails and wonderful. And the other thing I would suggest is that you get yourself a lovely wet glue. So those two items plus your all-inclusive kit, and you can get crafting straight away. You don't have to have another thing in your craft stash or anything. So these are really brilliant to give as gifts for people, because you can give it to someone who's brand new to crafting and they have everything they want, including in amongst the kit there are lovely self-explanatory, really simple drawings so that you can follow step by step what to do. Okay, so that's the all-inclusive kits, and I'm just going to show you the kind of thing that might be in your kit, and I'm just going to tip these all over the place. Now sadly, because we're in lockdown at the moment, I can't get to my lockup. I have a little lockup garage with some of my kit in because I only have a smaller craft room here, and I realised that all of my inclusive kits are in that lockup. So I have some pieces left over from other kits just to give you an idea. So in your kit, what you will get, and I'm going to show you this is one of the kits that's in our current catalogue. And I am going to say to you that catalogues are due to change reasonably soon. So if you want these particular kits, get on buying, because they will sell out pretty quickly. And also there will be new kits in the new catalogue. So it's a nice mixture. So you will get a picture of the items that this all-inclusive kit will make. It will tell you how many cards you can make. So you can make 20 cards if you follow the instructions and you make the exact cards. And I have to tell you that every time I've ever made any of these kit cards, there's always a few nice little goodies left over afterwards. Stampin' Up are quite generous. They don't just give you the exact number, they often give you one or two spares. So you can sometimes make a couple of extra cards with the remaining kit. And then they give you a picture of what's included in the card kit. And in this particular kit there are coloured watercolour pencils. They're full-sized big pencils and 4 of them. There's a little stamping ink, and I'll show you this from my little collection here. So you get something like this. Depends, different kits have different things in, but this is just to give you a flavour of what could be in. So there'll be little small ones. They're not as big as the big normal pads, but they do have the same ink. So they're not an inferior, cheap version. They are the real stuff. You might get, for example, you might get some washi tape if it needs tape. You might get, let me just move these out of the way. You might get things like embellishments. You might get a little card of embellishments. You might get a small number of dimensionals so that you can stick things up and make them proud. You might get plenty of these. You often get plenty of these, which are little push out decorative pieces. And although it's paper, it's really good quality. Listen to that. That's not thin, nasty, cheap paper. That's good quality, nicely inked papers. In fact, almost a card. So you might get several of these to use. And all you have to do is punch them out. You might get little pieces of embellishments, metal embellishments, and you may well get ribbons. So let's say you might get some ordinary ribbons. And again, these will be part of our normal quality standard ribbons. They won't be cheap and nasty pieces. There will be proper linens, there'll be velvets, etc. And in fact, I sometimes think the quality of the kits is amazing. I've looked at kits in the past from many other companies at different times in my life, and I've always felt that they were really a kind of cheap way of introducing you to their items. For Stampin' Up, I think what they are is a great way to introduce you to our items, but we do it in the same quality. So you might get lovely vellum feathers, little pieces to stick on, and this is just an example. And you may well get small stamp sets. So something like this, a little tiny set, not in a box like normal, but it will just be a small set. But again, they're just as well etched and just as good quality as the main stamp sets that we sell. So it's a great way of getting started on really learning how to craft. So if you've got a friend or a relative that's been saying, oh, I wish I could do what you do, maybe buy them a kit. It's a great way to get them started. So that's the all-inclusive kits, okay? And that's what you're looking for, the words all-inclusive alongside. And that way you know you've got everything. Then, just to confuse us all a little bit, there are two more types of kits. One is called a project kit, and one is called a product medley kit. Now, the project kits, I think originally were designed so that demonstrators had a pack that they could take out and that we could use with our customers when we went to parties and we showed you how to craft. And so they are designed with almost everything you need, but not totally everything. But let me show you an example of one of those to explain. So I'm going to show you this lovely kit. And it comes, and I should have just, in fact, I'll just show you by showing you this. Right, so this is how it comes. It comes in a box, just an ordinary parcel box. And you open this up. And it's quite lovely, it's quite exciting. All of these kits come beautifully displayed. So they are real true gifts. Doesn't matter which of the kits they are, they always come as lovely gifts. So here is this one is the, let me find it for you to show you. Here we go. This one is in the catalogue here. Here's the examples of it. Projects with a purpose, it says, and on the other page here it shows it, okay, and it says it's a 12 card project kit, okay, and the words are project, so it's not all inclusive, it's a project kit. And this is what you get, and this is what I've just unwrapped, this lovely box, and inside this box are these items, and this is what you can make using them. So let's just show you the items. So when I open this box, this is what comes out. And I have a whole lot of lovely printed, pretty envelopes, all ready for you to put all of your items in. And because it's a 12 kit, there are 12 envelopes. Okay, in that kit also will be 12 card bases. Here we go. These have been printed, and I've got 12 of those, in 3 different designs, because there are 3 different designs inside this particular kit. Different kits have different numbers of designs, but everything will be there for you. The cards, the envelopes. Then there are some central pieces to work with. These are central to the designs. So these stick onto your card fronts, and all of the instructions are there for you in the kit. I'll show you the instructions in a moment. For this particular kit, because it's called the felt kit, you have wonderful little felt flowers. Aren't they beautiful? And lovely little tiny blue ones too, all which pop out. So lovely felt items. We have some linen thread, and again it's proper linen thread. It's not a thinner, nastier version. It's just the same as you would buy in the full catalogue. We have some vellum. We have all sorts of little push out flowers and leaves and so forth. And that's all contained in that beautiful little box alongside the project kit manual. And you get this little booklet in each of your projects. And this comes in the all-inclusive and in the project kits. And it tells you a little bit about everything here, and it gives you some tips. And it gives you those in many different languages, and it tells you what's included. And it also tells you what steps to take and which order to stamp things in. And then best of all for me, because I'm a visual person, as are most crafters, it gives you little symbols which tells you what you've got to collect and what you've got to stick down, and it gives you the exact card that you're making, beautifully set out, and you can follow those instructions. Okay, so for example, here's this card, and here are all the pieces. I've collected all the pieces ready for this card, okay, and I've sort of set them out so that it matches the design, sort of. But you'll notice that you'll notice that I've got some sequins that will go on there, but there are also still some gaps. Okay? And the reason there are gaps is because this kit, being a project kit, also relies on you buying a stamp set to go with it. And the stamp set that goes with this particular one is the For the Love of Felt. Okay, and it says this really clearly in the instructions. Now, why do we sell them separately? Why is it not just all included like it is on the all-inclusive? Well, the idea is that it might be that you want to work with a group of people, and so you might want everybody to have their own kit, but you might want to share the stamp set between you all, and that way it's a lot cheaper. Or you might want to maybe split up the pack so that in this particular pack there are 3 cards and there are 4 of each. So if you had a group of 4 people, you could all do 1 of each of the cards and you could share the stamping. Okay, so for this particular one it requires a stamp set, and it also requires a few extra items to be brought along, and this is where it's wonderful. You can ask your demonstrator to bring along these extra few items, and it's not a huge number, but your demonstrator will bring along these extra items and run this as a craft party for you. That's the whole idea of the project kits. Doesn't mean you can't use the project kits yourself, but it does mean you would need to have these extra items and that extra stamp set in order for this kit to work. And it says that very clearly, and I want to show you on the catalogue. Oops, I'm sorry, I'm having to run backwards and forwards here. So here is the page which has this particular kit in it. So it shows you the 3 cards that you can make, and it tells you that you can make 4 of each of those cards. It shows you the project kit that I've showed you that comes in the box, and it says you will also need this stamp set and these items. So if you're an advanced crafter, you may already have these items on your shelves anyway from other projects. So you might choose to buy the stamp set and the box and have a go at crafting yourself. Absolutely fabulous. No need for lots of people in another group. But the whole aim of these particular cards is that they can be shared as a group. If you're interested in doing that, doesn't matter where you live, because we can do this by video links or Zoom calls, or we can do it in person. You let me know and I can send you out to a group of you the share of your bits that you're going to need. Okay, so that's the group project. Then let me show you the last thing. Oh, no, before I do that, I'm going to show you another of the boxes, because I think these are just so fabulous as presents, and I think it's just lovely to see what your recipient of your present would receive. So when they open it up, here's a different one of the project kits, and look how beautiful is that lovely box in there. I have to say, I've got a number of these boxes, even when I've done the kits. Ooh, that slipped out. I wouldn't get out. Right. Even when I finish these projects, I keep the boxes, because the boxes are just lovely for storing all sorts of things in. Isn't that a pretty box? Isn't that beautiful, the little brass? You know, these are not cheap kits that are just put together for a quick buck. These are beautiful introductions to a really wonderful quality company, and that's what you've got to remember. And there's the instructions, and this is how it comes, all nice and sealed and beautifully ready to get going. Here's the little embellishments, and here's all the kit underneath here. So that's how your project kits arrive. Now the last type of kit we have, so we've had our all-inclusives where everything's included. We've got our projects, which are designed with groups in mind who will share equipment. And now we've got our product medley kits. Okay, and I want to show you these. I absolutely love these. And these perhaps are for someone who's a little bit more comfortable and confident as a crafter. Although I'm sure a beginner could make their way through this if they're artistic. And what you get is a whole bunch of stuff. Okay, and these come with a stamp set. So here's the lovely stamp set that comes with this particular kit. This particular kit has ribbon and really nice metal embellishments, beautifully tooled, beautiful little pieces. And there we go. And inside here we have little designer labels that you can punch out. Okay, and little designer pieces that you can punch out. We have little pieces of beautifully designed, you can use them either way up, either colour side, little designer die cuts, and also a whole host of double-sided beautiful papers. And the aim of this particular set, because it's called a product medley kit, okay, and I want you just to remember that, because product and project are easy to mix up. So this is a product medley kit, because what they do is they give you a medley or a mixture of different products, and it's up to you what you do with them. So for this particular thing, you will need maybe some card, maybe some notelets, because it doesn't include envelopes and notelets, so you will need some of that yourself. But what it does include are all the things that will coordinate. And this makes the most fantastic present for someone who is already a good crafter, a good quality crafter, because their imagination will get fired up. The images here match the images on the papers, they match the images on the, they match the images on the stickers. So all of a sudden, if I were receiving this as an advanced crafter, I would have lots of ideas of what to do. So I don't suggest these as beginner kits, but I do suggest these as wonderful presents for someone who's already a paper crafter. So those are the three main kits. Now I then want to just go on to the next bit in this process between becoming a total beginner, where you have everything provided for you, a beginner with friends who want to sit down and work together and maybe work with a bit of advice from a demonstrator. And don't forget, I'm really happy if you want to get 4 friends around to your house when the lockups allows that. Or if you've got 4, 2 or 3 or 4 of you already in a house sort of feeling locked up and claustrophobic, and you want to get one of these kits, and we can do it over Zoom call, we can do a class. Or the product medley kits for those people who want to take their crafting a little bit further, but they want to have everything self-contained so that it all matches and blends and goes really well together. So someone else has done the choosing. Now, then we go on to, and I want just to bring you back into the catalogue again, because the next thing you want to do, once you've learnt how to craft on your own in small groups, sort of by yourself but with some guidance, is you now want to explore the catalogue much more fully. And the place I'm going to try and take you, if I can find it, I've got it marked here, there it is to one of the suites, because this is kind of our letting you go from kits into the main catalogue. So here are the suites. And I'm just going to show you what the suites contain. Now, the suites are not necessarily intended for you to buy everything, but they are intended to work well together. So these items have been produced in the catalogue to work beautifully together. So let me show you just the contents of one of these suites, just to explain. So first of all, we've got a stamp set. So we've got one called Sailing Home, and it's got lots of nautical images on. Okay, the second thing is a die cut. So these dies will cut out these images. So if I want that lovely lighthouse, I've got the die cut that will cut it out for me. Okay, and so on. Then we have an embossing folder, so this will go through and press your card into wave shape patterns beautifully for you. Okay, then we've got the papers, and I have just a quick glance at the papers, but there are so many of these that I can't show you them all. But I have got lots and lots and lots and lots of papers there, all 12 by 12 sheets, although I've cut away some of them. And they all match and mix together. Then we've also got the Memories and More cards, and these, when you open this, it's a whole range of little cards, all of which have got nautical images which match in with the colours and the designs of this particular suite. They also suggest a baker's twine, which is navy and a cream. It's Sahara sand actually rather than cream, but it's a sort of beigey cream. So Sahara sand and night of navy, and that also then coordinates beautifully with all your papers. And last but not least, a whole pack of lovely little trinkets which are nautical in their theme. So they also go. Now the whole idea is not that you buy the entire suite, although of course you could, but that you now have the ability to pick and choose the bits that you want to make your cards special. But again, like with the kits, the suites give you some guidance that if you're picking from that selection, it's highly likely that you will be able to make some really nice matching cards and that they will coordinate beautifully. Okay, so I hope that explains how the various kits work. Let's just go back through them for you. We have the all-inclusives, just for you, especially great for beginners. We have the project kits where we bring along some extra bits and pieces, but it says very clearly what extras you will need, which you can either buy yourself or you can get someone like a demonstrator to bring along and work with you. Then there are the product medley kits, where you get a bit more of freedom to choose what you do and how you do it. So there's no instructions with this one, but there's lots and lots of lovely coordinating product. And then you go into the main catalogue, and I suggest you then start looking at the product suites, which will help guide you as to what will go together beautifully. And then hopefully you'll turn into the most wonderful avid crafter who will just open up every catalogue and go, oh, I need everything, I really want it all, because it's all so brilliant and I can see what I can do with them. So we'll have taken you hopefully from that beginner stage where you go, it's all too much, I don't even know what to choose from the catalogue, to this person who's screaming for more. Okay, thanks very much. Bye bye.